Well, that was 96 1.5-inch holes and a lot of wood chips later. But it is ready for that styrofoam now. At some point I'm going to order those little round vents and put a couple in each one of those out there up underneath the eave between the 2x6 joists, and that should let that air flow through there. But that drill was getting a little bit warm, but I'll tell you what, that 60-volt battery, I mean, it lasted. It did the job. And the drill, like I tell you, that new DeWalt impact drill, it's the meat and potatoes. You guys see that tattoo on his arm, right? He's got a lot of female admirers. He's known as their arrows. He's known as the Big Chief.
And this is the last day I'll be helping Richard today, folks.
Don't go away. Don't go nowhere. Up. Yeah, okay. I need to re-angle myself so I can get on the other side. You got it?
Yep.
Okay. You can come up if you need. All right, go ahead, go up. All right. Come back down just a hair. Go right there. You good?
Yep.
All right. Got it? Hang on to it.
Very good.
Well, guys, Stephen, my son-in-law, Patrick, Big Chief, he's showing me your tattoo.
There you go. I told him this so I could show off the muscles.
Yeah.
There you go.
They got to leave, but they did help me get, we didn't want to tackle too much like we did last time because we really worked ourselves to death. So, but I drilled that 96 holes the day before, so we actually had to put up the insulation, we had to put up the radiant barrier, and then we had to put up the sheetrock. So I told them next time I'm going to do my very best to try to have the insulation and the radiant barrier up and possibly have the pieces pre-cut. That way when they come over here we just slap them up there. But anyway, they got to leave. But thanks both of you for coming up here and helping because I can't do that by myself. Anyway, guys, they're going to go ahead and get packed up here to leave, and y'all sit tight. I'll see you on the next project. Well, it's a pretty good sized nest that I got out of the sawmill there. That's the second one. I had one at the rear of the sawmill, and then I had one, well, this one was a little bit off to the side, and the other one is actually inside the bunk area on the other end of the sawmill. I was able to pour fuel down in the hole, but this one was actually made where I had one of those totes sitting. They bored a hole underneath the tote, and using the tote as their overhead or their ceiling basically, and kind of wallowed out a hole in the ground. So last night I came out, and because I had already killed the other one, and last night I came out and I thought, well, I'm going to move that box and see where they made their hole. Well, when I moved the box, I had a flashlight. I could see that the nest was right there. So they started to move around a little bit, and a couple of them took off. And so what I did was I just backed up, set the tote down, and went in. I laid there and I thought, well, I can't pour fuel on them, and I don't have enough spray, so how am I going to kill this nest? Well, thank goodness it was raining last night, and the outside of the ground was a little bit wet, and it was moist in the air. So what I did was I went and got the torch, and I went in there, I lit the torch, and I just hit it a couple of times because I figured if I could at least burn their wings off, they couldn't fly. So that 2 shots of that flame did it. I had a little bit of sparks, and I had a 5-gallon jug of water in there with me, and I went ahead and I filled that hole up, and I could see that nest lift up, and then it floated back down slowly, so I knew I had the hole filled up. And I doused the fire and went back in the house, gave them time, and they were still, some of them still got loose and swarmed a little bit prior to that. I let it settle down a little bit, and probably about 30 minutes later I came back out, and I checked it out again, and I didn't see any fire. So I thought, well, this morning I'll see how they're swarming, and there's probably, I don't know, maybe a half a dozen or a dozen that may have been off to the side, or, you know, had been gone last night or whatever that came in today, but pretty much I've got both of those nests killed now, and thank goodness, because I'm going to have to start milling lumber for the front porch. But anyway, they can be very dangerous if you've never run into a swarm. I was living in town one time mowing the grass, and at the base of a Bradford pear tree they had bored a hole. I was just mowing the grass, had no idea that it was there, and then all of a sudden I thought, well, you know, the grass must be stinging my legs, you know, and I looked down and my legs were just covered with yellow jackets. And so I dropped everything, took off and ran, came back, poured some gasoline down the hole, lit it, and it was like an underground fire, but as soon as the flame went out, they were gone and never was bothered with them again. So it looks like these guys have been in the sawdust. Anyway, we've got the bees in the sawmill taken care of. Well, I came up with about 1/3 of the pallet of this kindling that still needs to be busted up, but the straps kind of gave way, the box tipped over in the driveway, and I was kind of, you know, didn't know where I was going to put it anyway, and so when it went ahead and busted, I thought, well, I'll just put a pallet up here by the woodshed. I was actually going to put it behind the sawmill, but I'm glad I didn't. That way I can just kind of pick them up, take them over here, and bust them up into fine kindling like you've watched me do before. And this is really rich pine, so it's going to last a long time. This will be really good fire starter, because basically just one of these pieces right here would start a good fire. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, well, 14 and a half rows. It's probably 3 by 4. So yeah, that's a lot of fire starter right there. So I'm thankful that my buddy called me up and told me that he had saved it for me. So this way I can cover it up and hopefully it will stay dry. Well, hey guys, I really appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with me up here at the Outpost while I'm working on the cabin, trying to get the rock facing on at least the front area, because I've got some logs that I want to mill up to start building the front porch. My son will be back in a few weeks, and I want to have that ready, that material ready, so that we can go ahead and build the front porch, where I can be able to go in and out, build a set of steps on the end, and everything won't be so primitive out here then. But anyway, yeah, my son, my daughter, and I would really appreciate you guys stopping by and all your support that you give us on both of our channels. If you're new here to this channel, be sure and go check out Outpost Review. It's a behind the scenes on what we're doing up here. This channel primarily is the work, and it's a lot more peaceful because I don't do a whole lot of talking. But if you want to see more on the building on the Outpost channel, click the top left hand corner. If you want to see more on the review channel, click the bottom right hand corner. There's an icon that we put up there. Also, you can find links down in the description section. Anyway, we hope everyone has a great day. Take care, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.